Hey guys, just 4 quick notes from editing Margaux before this episode gets started. This week is going to be a little different than what we normally do. I accidentally talked about the Try Guys drama for the entire hour, so we will be releasing a shorter bonus episode on Thursday of this week with what was supposed to be the second half of this episode, not at all related to the drama. We are by no means YouTube drama experts, and I want to say that all of the speculation in this video about when Ned's affair started is strictly alleged and not to be taken as fact. Keeping in mind that we are not YouTube drama experts, we recorded this last Wednesday, and a lot more drama has come out about the topic since then, including a statement from the Try Guys themselves that is possibly the best YouTuber response that I've ever seen. But just keep in mind that that video came out on Monday of this week, and we recorded this on Wednesday of last week. Finally, I highly recommend you watch the video version of this episode, either on YouTube or on Spotify, because it will have some visual aids to help everyone keep up with names, correct any mistakes that we made, and read the statements that we're actually talking about. So with all of that in mind, enjoy this episode, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Hello, and welcome to Rainy Tuesdays. I didn't give you guys any preparation for that one.
Okay. Jumping into it.
Today we're here with Adam.
Hello.
And Margaux.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going pretty okay.
Going good, yeah.
Sweet.
I got both my COVID shot and my flu shot on Monday, one in each arm, and so I'm like recovered now. But it's now Wednesday when we're recording this. But it was tough. Don't recommend it. Do it one at a time, unless you want to just knock it out, which is what I did. Just take it out. Yeah.
I need to get my flu shot still.
They're good to get. Apparently, not to get on my soapbox about people getting vaccinated, because you should get vaccinated for things, but I'm going to get on that soapbox. Get vaccinated, but also people in the health world are projecting that we're going to have a bad flu year because people have been somewhat inside for 2 years, and it's expected that people will be more outside this year than we have been in the past 2 years, and thus spreading more germs and spreading the flu more. So get a flu shot to avoid that. That's
get vaccinated.
Yeah, get it even if it wasn't.
Be an intelligent, smart person and get vaccinated.
Yeah, it's fun. I have a little bruise from it. I don't know if you can tell. Because my body is bad. Yeah.
Well,
all right. Didn't mean
hot
to
off the presses, piping hot drama
guys
in the Try Guys world that Margaux has promised to share with us.
So I think I'm the only Try Guys fan on this podcast.
I watched their stuff when they were at BuzzFeed, but I've not watched anything since.
It's better now. Yeah. At BuzzFeed, it was just like men try on underwear that's meant for women. And now
I don't
it's
think I saw any of that. I remember them getting super drunk.
Yeah.
And figuring out at what point is illegal to drive versus how they felt.
Sure.
And then I feel like I remember one about their coworkers eating food off of them.
Oh, sure. They do have genuinely high level content. They've done stuff with Beto O'Rourke for voting in Texas, which is awesome. They've done genuine documentaries on anti-Asian hate kind of stuff. But then also on a less serious side, they have what is Food Network level quality food shows on their channel. And that's noticeable because they got a Food Network show based off of all of it. And so it's really, really well done. And the editors for their channel actually worked on the Food Network one and edited with those people because they're that good, and it's really impressive. So they genuinely have fantastic stuff. Highly recommend them. But also one of them is bad.
So I have heard extremely cursory level.
Yeah.
And
what do you guys know?
Okay, so there's a guy named Ned.
Yeah.
And Ned is Ned's character, if you will, is like the wife guy. That
Yeah.
he just really loves his wife, and that's
Mhm.
kind of his defining feature. And then the drama is that he has now cheated on his wife, and then the Try Guys channel has maybe slightly crudely just edited him out of their content
Okay.
and then fired him.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw it was like on Twitter, people were like making theories about it of like,
Sure.
oh, this dude cheated on his wife, which is why he's not in any of the recent stuff.
Right.
And people are like pulling out like all the receipts about like,
Mm.
oh, he's not here, he's not here, he's not here.
hmm
And yeah, that was it. And then
Fair.
he cheated on his wife and
Yeah.
came out about it, and they made a statement,
Yeah.
which
that's
sounds
when
quite
we
funny.
get into it. Oh my god, it's awful.
Because also like his profile picture is
It's
not
like-
very like
It's
yeah.
like think about a frat boy making a face, and that's his profile picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like phrased it weirdly. He's like, yeah, I had a consensual extramarital
we'll get into
relationship.
Ooh, we'll get into it. Okay.
Real fast before we
Yeah.
get into it. I think the best move in the situation is to not make a statement.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
interesting.
feel like the statement, even if it is genuine, only makes you look
Yeah, it's only going to be
worse.
taken poorly.
Yeah.
like, even if you're
yeah.
like, I am really sorry, then people are gonna be like, oh, well, he's being sarcastic, and like, because usually they are. So, not if we get super popular and then I like, what would I do?
Yeah.
Stole a candy bar. And then
No, you would like
candy
insult
bar.
someone's food right in front of them. Like you would, yeah,
Actually,
that would
that's
be
true.
Like a chef's food, like right in front of
Someone
them.
would like, how would they get in contact with me? I don't know. They'd track me down and mail me a letter of their like bowl of cereal with milk in it, and I would send it, be like, idiot, and then it would be a whole thing.
Disgusting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
I
you
would
would
make
get.
a statement. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, legitimately, it seems like in a lot of situations, no matter how bad it is, it's better to just kind of, if it's really bad, you're gonna get fired. Good, and then you fade away.
Mhm.
And if it's only
Yeah.
sort of bad, then making a statement makes it look worse. Because there's
Yeah.
like a level of like people doing actually horrible things, in which case you should just fire them, or
Uh-huh.
people overreact and it's not actually a bad thing, in which
Mhm.
case don't make a statement about it.
Yeah. Literally, I don't know. They've like been like a little bit of not really research, but people have looked into of like things like when people become like enemy of the day on Twitter, where it's like
Mhm.
everyone's like hating on someone or like someone gets canceled. It's like just don't make a statement, don't acknowledge it, and you'll
Because I
be
think it
fine.
was kind of faded away. Like if it's a genuinely terrible thing, and like there'll be actual retribution in their real life, and statement or like
Sometimes
social
not.
media won't matter. But social media won't
Yeah.
matter either way. Like
Yeah,
people's reactions on Twitter is not going to affect things.
that's
So-
true. Twitter is a fake place, but it is also interesting of like just people's perception. Like James Franco isn't really that great of a dude,
No, he's awful.
but like he just
Yeah.
ignored it, and
yeah,
no
he's
one
not good at
cares.
anything. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like people still think pretty positively of like him. He's still in a lot of movies.
Yeah, he's creepy in every single one.
And that's what you gotta
Yeah.
do. You just gotta like ignore it.
Do you guys think there's ever an instance in which a public notes app apology is warranted?
No.
Okay.
No, I just really don't, because yeah, if you've really done a terrible thing, no amount of explaining is going to get you out of it. And
Yeah.
if you've not done a terrible thing and people are overreacting, it's just going to make things worse. So just ignore it.
Interesting.
And you
Okay.
don't owe people on the internet anything.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think that necessarily.
Yeah.
Especially not for something like that's a personal issue. Which is what
Yes.
it is.
Yeah.
Um,
The only
What
time I can
about-
think of like not ignoring the situation has not worked is Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt has not said anything. And people are like,
Yes.
oh, this man's like secretly like very racist and
yeah.
anti-gay, and it's like,
I still think
We really
that one's
don't know.
hilarious because
like,
there's
might not be
no
that bad.
evidence at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's
he
like,
went
he
to
might
a
be.
church that sounds like this church.
Right.
It's like he went to a church and the church is affiliated with a completely different church, which is homophobic. And it's like, okay, well, that doesn't say anything about Chris Pratt, and that's the only thing you have.
But I also think
Yeah.
maybe that is true. Like, still don't say anything, because like over time people will be like, well, he's not really said anything. We really don't have anything to go off of.
Yes. Like, it would be one, like, compare J.K. Rowling. who wrote a super
That's too
long
much.
transphobic essay about how she's totally not transphobic, but is absolutely 100% transphobic.
Just digs a deeper
Bad.
grave. Yeah.
Don't do that.
So I'm gonna throw a few names out there so that we like know who the people in this.
We're gonna wheel in a whiteboard, and Margot's
with
gonna
red
write
string.
and cut the string.
I might put up pictures of the people if I care that much in editing. We'll see. There are 4 Try Guys, and they started in like 2015-ish on BuzzFeed. You have Keith, you have Zach, you have Eugene, and you have Ned. And each of them, like, as they got more popular, and especially as they started their own channel, which I think was in 2018 or 2019-ish, like, they developed very specific brands. And when they went on, like, a tour for, like, a live show, like, musical extravaganza thing that they did in 2019, that was, like, their tagline was, like, food, love, fun, gay. Because that was like their things. And so like food was Keith because he does a show on there that's like Eat the Menu, where he eats everything on the menu, and he like is very, very into food. He made his own hot sauce because he cares a lot about flavors and everything like that. Like he's a big food guy, right? But it's important to note that he's also big into like musical comedy. He has like a musical comedy group called Lou Burger. And like he does other things other than just food, right?
Right, that's not his defining feature.
Yeah. Then you have Zach. He's fun. Like he loves to just have silly, goofy fun. He has a tattoo of a smiley face on his butt. Like he is like goofy and like everything like that. But he is also like huge into like legitimate filmmaking, cinematography. He went to film school. He like cares a lot about movies. He has a separate podcast called Guilty Pleasures that is like all about like good and bad movies and like what makes a movie good or bad. He also has and like deals with chronic pain and is like a huge advocate in that world for ankylosing spondylitis is like his specific condition. So like he does other things other than just fun, right? This is important, I promise.
Laying the groundwork.
Yeah. You have Eugene, who's gay, right? And he's super gay. He's got a boyfriend and everything. He's doing all the things. But he also has so many other things that he cares about. He's like very, very politically active. He's also actively like breaking into the acting world. He's voice acting on an upcoming Netflix movie that's coming out in 2023. It's like this huge animated thing. It's really cool looking, at least. I haven't seen it. It hasn't come out yet. But like he has like a lot of passions outside of it. And then you have Ned, who loves his wife. That's his whole thing.
That's what you got.
He loves his wife. You could argue he also went to Yale. That's another fact about him.
Is he sort of like the guy from Queer Eye that doesn't really do anything?
Exactly. Like there's just not much about him other than he loves his wife, and it's like a huge meme is that like every video he mentions his wife. He goes, "My wife," and everything. He's built his entire personal brand off of it because all of them have projects outside of the Try Guys, right? But every single one of Ned's are about his wife and like being a family man. He like wrote a cookbook with her. He like went around touring schools in America, giving ethics on a healthy relationship, like, lectures.
Really? His
thing.
Mm-hmm.
They have a podcast together called Baby Steps where they talk about like parenting together and everything like that. Like every single thing he has outside of Try Guys is I love my wife so much, guys. Like I'm a great husband and father. And yeah, it's tough.
I gotta say, it's very unfortunate on his part for like, your wife is your brand. Like,
yeah.
That's the one thing you gotta do to like not mess up.
Yeah.
Like, every job you have like one thing you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
And his seems very defined.
Incredibly. And it's like the one thing you shouldn't do in like your personal life and your business life is the same thing. So it's
ignoring
so
the personal life. Like, let's just focus on the business life.
Yeah. What a terrible business move.
Because, like, listen, if you don't understand that cheating is bad for, like, personal reasons, whatever.
Right.
But the business side.
Yeah. So, kind of tough to, like, build it up. I think the big nail in the coffin for me personally was the ethics on healthy relationship thing. Because to, like, go around and be like, this is how you do a healthy relationship. It's tough.
Well, I'm sure you'll get into, like, what actually happened. But
Yeah.
did this ethics and relationship talk overlap with the events of the drama? Because that would be extra fun.
Confirmed, like, what we absolutely know is not necessarily, but there's a lot of speculation where it's like it seems pretty likely that it probably did overlap. Yeah. So yeah, it's tough. It's bad. But anyway, about a month ago, the Try Guys videos started looking a little different. Like, one came out and it was like, alrighty, whatever. Like, Ned was in that one. And they were like trying to high diving or whatever. Okay. Then they did the Beta O'Rourke like video. It was awesome. It was so cool, but it was only Eugene, and so that's not a big deal because it's like, of course, it's only him. This is like a very specific niche video that wouldn't need to include any of the other Try Guys. Not a big deal that he's not in it. Then you get something weird, and you have the second episode of a new cooking show they're doing, which, side note, is really good. Basically, the premise of the show is that it's called Phoning It In, and it's two expert cooks call two of the Try Guys and try to get them to cook just over the phone. But the Try Guys are idiots and they can't cook.
I was going to say, I feel like food shows are just one of those genres that it just isn't for me. That
this one
I'm never ever interested in that stuff.
Yeah,
but that does sound funny.
It's pretty good.
Teaching someone to cook?
No, it's not teaching someone. It's so like the chef is out of the room on the phone, just saying like, "Hey, here's how I want you to do this. Is like take these ingredients, do this to them." And the Try Guys have like earbuds in, trying to understand what they're saying, and they're like, okay, yeah, I think I get that, but like some things you need to like show to get it done right. Some things aren't gonna be perfect. Also, the Try Guys are not all great cooks.
I have one suggestion.
Yeah.
For this show.
Perfect. Let's
Mr. Try Guys.
Yes.
This is my advice. Have one step removed. So expert chef to
even more of a game of
Try Guy on the side of the set, who then relays the instructions to the Try Guys who are cooking.
Good.
So you have the like really telephone aspect of interpreting what.
Yeah, that's really good.
I think like more than those levels would get too unwieldy, but just one level would be fine. I think that works well.
Did you guys ever watch Bon Appetit on YouTube?
Yeah.
They used to have that show where
like
they had celebrities. It was back to back.
I liked that one.
I enjoyed that one. That's basically like what this is.
It's pretty much the same. Yeah.
My favorite one is Ninja, because Ninja was popular, and he has to make. Do you not know who Ninja is?
No, I just.
Okay. I thought you were confused. I was like, Ninja's the Fortnite dude.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah.
But his Bon Appetit one is hilarious because he clearly has never made a sandwich in his life. Because they're like, cut the bread, cut off the two sides of the bread, and he like messes it up and cuts off the top of a loaf of bread and the bottom of a loaf of bread, like the entire top and bottom of a loaf, in order to make his sandwich. And then also like
love it.
Like he cuts an avocado and just like goes right through the pit. It was it's pretty funny. If you want to dunk on Ninja, it's a good time.
Man. Fair enough. I thought the Kardashian video of cutting a cucumber was bad.
That one was bad too. It's funny. It's like, wow, these celebrities
really haven't had to do much.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's a really cool and fun concept, genuinely entertaining. The first episode came out maybe like a month and a half ago, as like a tester to see if people like it. It was also like a HelloFresh ad, so it was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And they had 3 judges in that one, and Ned was one of them. So then the second one comes out, and there's only 2 judges. And like, I want to just make it clear, it was masterfully edited, that you have to really, really like look at the background and how like the wall in the background lines up, really listen for like tiny little clips to like maybe hear Ned's voice. And like, no one was doing that when it first came out, but like, it's clear. And it was like, I do remember when I watched it and thinking like, oh, kind of weird that they only did 2 judges for this one. Like, I feel like 3 made more sense in the last episode, but whatever. Oh well. Like, I didn't think that much of it because like their editors are really good. And so I didn't really notice it in that one. But then they switched to a 1-a-week schedule. And they were like, hey guys, with the holiday season coming up and everything, we're only going to release a 1 video a week schedule. Which is not something they've ever done. They've always had at least 2 a week. Sometimes they've gone up to 3 a week and then like back down to 2 a week. But they've never ever like gone down to just 1 a week unless they were just fully taking a break like for Christmas, which they also do. And so everyone was like, okay, yeah, I mean, like, your mental health is important. We want to make sure that like you guys are doing good things. Also, they always come out with really good holiday content. So like maybe they're working really hard on it this year. But like everyone was also starting to get like a little weirded out. Like, what's going on? Like, this is a bit strange. Because also on the podcast channel, Ned hasn't been on there for like 4 or 5 episodes. Like it's like a lot of episodes. Might not be that many, but still. Like people were noticing his absence. And so everyone was like, maybe like Ariel's pregnant again. Like Ariel is his wife, by the way. So anyway, then their latest thing came out, which was the Try Guys Try stand-up comedy. And while it's edited well, it is so glaringly obvious that Ned was completely cut out of it. His arm is in shots. He's in the background of shots that they like tried to kind of cut him out of. There's so many intense zooms to like cut him out of the frame and everything like that. Also, instead of having their little like intro roll where it has all 4 of them, it only has the like 3 standard guys in there to just be like, hey, look at our new merch with just the 3 other guys and not Ned. And so everyone starts going off. And this Reddit thread that has been lurking in the background this entire month starts getting really publicized. And everyone's like, excuse me? Because like it's basically saying like, hey, we it's like just basically outlining everything I just did, but then also saying like these DMs from an anonymous source that people are positing is Alex's ex-fiance. Alex is one of the assistant producers at the Try Guys, and it's basically saying like, hey, I just saw Alex and Ned from the Try Guys making out in a club in New York City. And like sending that to Alex's fiance. And then, yeah. So that's the supposed line, right?
Okay.
And then, yeah. So basically, people are like, whoa, oh my God. There's like a kind of blurry video. The problem is Ned is such a generic white guy that it's like, yeah, you can see it, but also you could easily be convinced it was any other white guy with a beard.
Is this the video at the Harry Styles concert?
I think it was Niagara, like a place called Niagara, not like Niagara Falls.
I saw some people positing it was the Harry Styles concert, and people have already like dunked on him enough because he performed at Madison Square Garden, and it wasn't very good. And he also opened up the show of like, let's give a round of applause for the Queen, and everyone was like, okay, sure.
Okay. I think yeah, maybe they did it more. We'll get into that too. I think like it was just that to start with. And then people started digging into everyone's Instagram followings, because that's how you dig up dirt on the internet, obviously. And what was noticeable was that none of the Try Guys were following Ned anymore. One of like their big editors, who is like their main lead editor, like stopped following both Ned and Alex. Like one of the like just like a bunch of people were like unfollowing Ned, and there was like a bunch of things, and everyone's like, he's not in the podcast, he's being cut out of the videos, everyone's unfollowing him, clearly something is up. And then also both Alex and Ned were like completely limiting their Instagram comments, because like people were like going in being like, you need to comment, you need to talk about this, blah, 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 everything like that, right? Basically that. So then yesterday, I'm gonna find it and read it because I don't want to misquote anyone. The Try Guys put out a statement, and they said, Ned Fulmer is no longer working with the Try Guys. As a result of a thorough internal review, we do not see a path forward together. We thank you for your support as we navigate this change. That's it.
Okay.
Not blaming him of anything. I think that's a great company statement, personally.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Like, just saying, hey, he's not in here anymore. It's just us. They also changed their logo, because they used to have like a 4-color thing. Now it's just like one. They took out like a heart of his in the bio. It's fine. Then they also unfollowed him from the Try Guys account. Big moves. And
I feel like the unfollowing, I feel like that happens a lot in internet drama, where it's like, oh, and then they unfollowed this person.
It's like, how are you keeping tabs on
that? I'm always like,
I don't know.
Exactly. Who has the time to be like, oh, and I went through their entire follow list, and well, maybe you could just search. But either way, like, that's such a specific thing to be like, isn't this weird?
Yeah, like the only reason I ever know about it is because of like people posting like, oh my god, they unfollowed them, kind of thing.
It's like people going through Reddit histories that happens on Reddit a lot, of people being like, this person posts, oh, and they upvoted this wild thing in the past. And you're like, why did you do that?
Like, why did you go through all that? I don't understand it. Whatever. Anyway. So then simultaneously, Ned Fulmer and Ariel Fulmer posted like their response to the situation. I guess the Try Guys one wasn't. That was just like, it looks kind of similar though. But Ned and Ariel's are both Notes app style.
Always also another cherry on top, Notes app style. Couldn't do anything else.
Anything. I know. Ariel's is actually good, so I'm going to start with hers. I think hers is incredibly mature and respectful. She said, thanks to everyone who has reached out to me. It means a lot. Nothing is more important to me and Ned than our family, and all that we request right now is that you respect our privacy for the sake of our kids. Really simple. It's not an apology, because she has nothing to apologize for. It's not like anything. It's basically just like, back off a little. I'm going through a lot. Please respect me and my children.
Yes.
Which I think is wonderful. And I think it's also like incredibly respectful of Ned too, which like she doesn't necessarily have to be. Because at this point,
well, I mean, just kind of a mature professional response.
Yeah, really, really lovely. Also, like at this point, we're like, oh, we don't necessarily like know if that white guy in the New York bar was Ned until Ned posted. And so he says, family should have always been my priority, but I lost focus and had a consensual workplace relationship. We're going to come back to that line because it pisses me off.
As we said before, this is what the problem is. If he had said nothing, there would have been rampant internet speculation for another week, and then it would have gone away, and he could have easily transitioned to whatever his new career is going to be.
Then he says, I'm sorry for any pain that my actions may have caused to the guys and the fans, but most of all to Ariel. We'll come back to each one of these lines. The only thing that matters right now is my marriage and my children, and that's where I'm going to focus my attention. I want to come back to those first two lines. The second one for a shorter period of time, in the fact that on like their podcast and everything, all of the Try Guys have made fun of Notes App apologies like relentlessly, and they've especially made fun of the "I'm sorry that you feel that way" or "I'm sorry if I might have offended you."
Yeah,
kind
like
of
non-apology.
lines. Yeah, which is exactly what that is. With the like for any pain that my actions may have caused is like, that's bullshit. Just don't say that. Don't say you're sorry at that point. But anyway, the thing that makes me mad is losing focus in a marriage is stupid. It doesn't make you cheat. Like, I don't know. I think that's just what a way to word cheating is I lost my focus.
You need to have focus in your marriage.
Yeah. If I don't focus on my partner, I'm
marriage.
Also, side note, since your career is based on the fact that you have your wife, it seems like you're focusing pretty hard on that.
It's so stupid. Anyway, and then we get to the part of this that like pisses me off the most is the consensual workplace relationship line. It's also worthy of noting that he has blocked any comments containing the word boss or consensual or consent or anything like that, because people are calling him out, not enough in my opinion, but he is her boss. Like, Alex is an employee of the Try Guys. She has like worked with him. She is younger. He is like the CEO of the company, or co-CEO. I don't know what that CCEO. But like, like it's ridiculous that because like half of the people are like, well, clearly she knew that he was married because that's all his brand is. So like it's like she's the real homewrecker here, and it's like, okay, but he's her boss. I don't think that matters as much. Like, I'm not saying she's morally in the clear. Clearly, she was also okay with cheating because she was engaged. But like, I'm just saying, like, it's a little ridiculous that people aren't focusing on the like, he is literally her boss in a position of power over her. And people are like, well, like, she's worked with him for years. And it's like, why does that change that? Like,
yeah, people are always so quick to
like blame the woman.
Blame women.
Yeah.
In the relationship. Yeah.
I don't know. It like that I feel like has been like my biggest takeaway from this is people are really, really pissed at her and like saying they should fire her too, which they can't because that's a lawsuit. But like, it's just ridiculous to be like, oh, like, we're really, really pissed at her, but like, it's totally fine that he was her boss. Because no, it wasn't. If it's like, I'm not saying workplace relationships can't happen, right? Because I think with mature adults, they can. I think it's not necessarily worth it because what if you break up and then you just have to keep working together? Like, that's stupid. But literally the CEO of the company, also known for being the one in control of finances because he really likes numbers, I guess, in addition to his wife. There's another thing he has. He likes numbers.
Hey, good. Another personality trait. We were lacking.
So did he get like fired or is it he's just stepping away?
The way that
he's
it
like
seems
co-CEO,
like
that'd be very interesting. Of like, did he get ousted? Do they also have like an HR department for like that he could be fired from his conduct?
Yeah, like
oh wait, actually no, they talked about that. They don't have to actually have an HR department because they're less than 50 people in California.
Oh, I didn't even know you were required to have an HR department.
Because if he was fired, he does have grounds for like possible wrongful termination.
Well, I don't know because I think actually, it would be like, wait, go on.
Well, would he? Because I would imagine, from the Try Guys perspective, that this is damage to their brand.
Absolutely.
So, like, for both of them, I don't think they would have a cause of action of wrongful termination because it seems like a pretty justified termination. I don't know the workers' rights laws in California,
I think
I don't
she
know if they're
would, because she can then claim that like her boss was like having a
well,
relationship
yes, for
with
her
her,
it's
and
definitely
yeah,
an easier
I know.
argument to make of wrongful termination. But I
yeah.
don't think
Yeah.
I don't think he would.
I don't think he
The
would at all.
main thing
I
is
still
I
think
know,
it's shaky for her, but it's definitely she could at least make the argument.
like
Fair.
CEOs, co-CEOs have a lot of extra rights when it comes to California.
Oh, yeah.
As far as like a lot of big tech companies
Fair enough.
have sort of like
Yeah.
rewritten the rules where it's like, this is my company and I was ousted from it, and so you can sort of just gloss over the reasons.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
a
you
whole
can do
nother
like
story.
financial stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is legal. I was going to talk about like closely held corporations. None of that matters.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like it's just a little icky because he definitely had a position of power over her, and people really don't care much about that, it seems. And I know that that's a skewed perspective because at least he's blocking comments about it. So like maybe other people are too. Maybe the Try Guys are, because we're gonna get into conspiracies in a second, and then I swear I'm done. But like the Try Guys, like it's damaging for their brands in a couple of different ways, but like one of the biggest ways is like, is it a safe place for their employees to like not be preyed upon by the bosses, kind of thing? Like that's the impression that it gives off, you know?
I am sort of curious though if he was fired or not, because they don't have an HR department, so I don't know if they have like set rules for.
Right. I mean, if there was like a co-CEO thing, then that's 3 against 1, which I assume is how it works.
Him, but yeah. I don't know, because technically didn't really do anything wrong.
Yeah.
As far as big quotes there.
Right. Yeah, like as far as like operating your business, other than the fact that it does damage a fourth of the brand. And then also, like, this is the first time there's been like a massive controversy with the Try Guys. Like people were commenting everywhere. They were like, I thought this was like one of the only unproblematic channels. Turns out that's wrong.
Number one, that's no,
never.
It's not possible. Number two, I feel like in terms of problematic, this is somewhat lesser.
Yeah.
Than, because we might get into this at the end, but I'm comparing it to similar drama. There was an achievement hunter guy, similar but extremely way worse situation than this, and he got fired, and then in all like compare. Never mind. We'll get to it, because I was just thinking of like similar drama versus how a different media company handled it versus here, and I think it goes into like the pitfalls and what to do and what not to do.
Very fair. I don't know. It's interesting on that front. So now we have like a few of the other little things, right? People were like, who knew about this? Like, who had any clue? Like, was this a one-time thing? Because the phrasing consensual workplace relationship implies that it was a more than one-time affair.
Yeah, relationship. As it's been going on for a bit.
Absolutely. And so, like, lots of questions about that. And then more Reddit comments pick up, because Reddit is like that.
Roasting.
People start going into common history, Adam. Everyone's favorite.
Just who has time for that?
Yeah.
I remember this one time I tried to like find a post on Facebook that was from a long time ago, and I gave up so soon. Sure. Like my phone started heating up from processing, like loading this super long page, and I was like, this is horrible. And people just do this.
People do that for fun.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So then comments from like a year ago start popping up saying like, I don't like Ned, for like various reasons. And people are like, what? Why? And then like people are going into it saying like, I was at a bar with my friends and he started like really hitting on people and like coming up behind girls and like trying to kiss their neck and stuff, and like trying to like pull girls into like grinding on him and everything like that, right? Are there pictures or videos of that? No, it could just be people saying it. But I think the fact that people commented that a year ago before this drama was
Yes,
even like
it
thing.
definitely gives credibility to
Oh,
it.
it's a little
It's
late.
not in response.
Also,
Yeah.
doesn't look good for the other guys too.
Yeah. So like basically it's like people like this. I don't know if he was with Alex since 2019, but he was clearly like not really like
Not
pro-wife.
no. Losing focus for a long time here.
Yeah, really out of focus. And so yeah, that's the majority of it. Something to note also though is that like a few months ago there was a mini scandal with Ned where like on their podcast they have a new like assistant podcast producer. She's really cool. Her name is Rainey Toll. Awesome. She's very fun. But they were like doing a like get to know you kind of thing with her because she was like there or whatever, you know. And at some point she was talking about how she like wanted to be like a dog mom in her 30s and everything like that. And he then started saying that like her biological clock will be ticking and she'll probably want to change her mind like in her 30s about that kind of thing, which is a little creepy.
Questionable.
Yeah. And so people called him out on that. And the very next episode, before the episode started, they had like a like here's Ned apologizing section of it where he was like, I should have never said that to my young like 25-year-old employee. Shouldn't have talked about her biological clock. That was inappropriate.
Weird. And yeah, inappropriate.
Yeah.
Why?
For your like boss to start talking about, well, you might want to start having kids. Yeah. So he's been inappropriate for a while. Whether or not that's been with women or clubs or simply publicly talking about his employees' biological clocks. Who's to say?
Okay, so multiple reactions. Number one,
Yes.
I feel like I got too excited for this.
I mean,
it's a little bit, it's definitely more than
Yes.
just he cheated on his wife.
yeah, like
But
it's
maybe
the
I was
whole
expecting
like.
a little bit more
Yeah.
than that.
I think.
But specifically what you said about him, I guess harassing women in the past, that is bad. So like
Yes.
that is more what I was anticipating from this.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, that achievement hunter guy, that's kind of my point of comparison. Of it was a barely similar thing.
Sexually harassing minors is another level
that guy
Ned didn't go to.
That was way worse.
Yeah.
Sexually assaulting minors and all that. But it was a similar situation of he was like the wife dude that was kind of this thing. And then it turned out that for a long time he had been having inappropriate relationships with younger fans. But it was a similar thing too of like he made a Instagram or whatever apology of like I've lost focus. I remember distinctly that he ended it with but it was like, but important note, I have not done anything illegal. And it was like, okay, that looks so bad. Why did you say that? But there actually were really bad things. So like a markedly worse situation. But
I have a few questions for you guys about this. Okay.
Yes.
So first, the two big complaints that people had about this, right, were the boss having sex with his employee, right? Totally fair, I think, genuinely. But then two is that like he has sold himself as the wife guy.
Yes, really gone all in on that.
Yeah, like made his entire self, his entire brand. Not a single thing he's done has been separate from I'm a wife and family guy. And like people are really pissed about that because they're like, that is obviously false advertising, but also just like misleading. Like you've been like luring an audience into this like expectation of like, I'm like such a safe like guy. I love my wife so much. And then like potentially taking advantage of like your employee and like like random girls in bars and stuff by being like, oh, I feel so safe with Ned. He's the wife guy, like everything like that. And then stuff like that. Yeah. So like thoughts on those two big controversies, which is what this boils down to. And then I have follow-up questions.
Not great.
Okay.
I don't know if I have a lot else to add there, but yeah.
Do you guys think that like, because one thing I've seen a lot, right, is because you have Adam Levine, you have John Mulaney, like people who had like a large my wife kind of brand going for them.
Was that really Adam Levine's brand?
I don't know if it was or not, but I know that like
was just funny because he's really bad at sexting.
Yeah, it was awful. But in like a lot of like interviews, he was like, I love my wife so much, right? And so it's like just John Mulaney and Ned Fulmer are obviously bigger than Adam Levine, but it is just Adam Levine's on the mind with cheating. So yeah, what do you guys think about the like loving your wife loudly? Is a red flag.
I mean, it definitely has the aspect of like the doth protest too much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I think people in healthy relationships, that
Should
is a
love each
good
other.
portion of your life.
Yeah.
And I mean, I, as a business sense, think it is not the best idea to make that your brand.
Right.
But I mean, if you are in a healthy relationship, it's a big portion of who you are. So you'd end up talking about it a lot.
Yeah,
I think don't make it the only thing you do.
Yeah. I think these ones are just amplified.
Sure.
Because it's like, like their character's sort of built up to be like, love my wife.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, there are so many like celebrity like cheating scandals, and it's like none of them really like get as much attention.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. They're like one of their other podcast people. He has a separate podcast. It's hilarious. It's wonderful. We love it here. And he started it off because it came out today. Like it comes out on Wednesdays. Obviously, this drama all happened Tuesday. And so like he started the episode with, I know we're all wondering about the Adam Levine drama.
Okay, that's pretty good.
It was really good. Mm-hmm. He was like, this was pre-recorded, so we're not gonna talk about that.
I still think you should say nothing. I think the right reaction from the Try Guys perspective would have just been like, and Ned's off to do different things. We're sorry to see you go, but we're glad for the time you had with us. Sure. We wish you luck in your future endeavors, and don't do the editing out or anything. Mm-hmm. And then just there he is, and people are going to be like, "Oh no!"
People do a lot of that. They're like,
and they're going to
go work on like other projects,
right?
Like and they never end up working on projects.
I was thinking about Critical Role is another very big media company. They've had this happen twice, where there was a one of the cast members in the like very first few episodes ended up leaving.
Sure.
And there's a lot of conspiracy theories about how willing that person was and if they were fired. But publicly, that's all they did was like, and they're moving on. And then that happened again later on with someone else, where they're like, we're no longer doing that portion of the show because the second person was like a after show host. And I think that's the right way to do it. Like, ultimately, whatever the drama is way worse on a personal level among these people. And so you don't want that to impact the outward brand focus part of it. So just kind of give them their peaceful exit.
Yeah.
And don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know how I feel about the editing out. Like, I think I'm entirely indifferent towards it. Like, I don't think it really impacted the content one way or another.
I think it's funny that they did it.
Yeah, for sure.
If I was in control of this, I would not have done that. because it seems like a lot of work for no reason.
Right.
But
And that is
it
theoretically the reason
very
they have to
funny.
switch down to 1 episode a week is because they're editing that out of things.
Yes, that sounds like an
Um,
immense editing
Yeah.
process to edit out substantial portions of your video of one of your main cast members.
But like,
yeah, I just
I
don't think
think
I would do that.
I do think their like Instagram post was good. Like the
Yes,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah, totally fine.
yeah.
I mean, definitely the case of this Ned guy.
Mhm.
He shouldn't have made his post.
Yeah,
Like,
now everyone knows.
that's the whole
Mhm.
problem. It would have been totally fine if that didn't happen.
Yeah,
Not
like,
mean
would have
he would have lost
theorized,
his
but
job,
you're
but
right. People would have forgotten.
Yeah.
he would have moved on.
Mhm.
And then it would, like 5 years from now, like with the Critical Role things, people would be like, "Wow, did you hear about the mystery of this thing? We will never know what caused this person to leave." And you're like, "Good."
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fans don't need to know everything.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think it's interesting. Do you guys think like that this should in any way impact them as a company?
Just move on as normal.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they probably could have handled it more privately.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. I just think.
But again, I do think
handle
he's
it-
the one that made it that private.
'Cause I feel like-
Yes, he definitely made it worse. But I
Yeah.
think you could have. I think you could have, if you had not edited him out of
Yeah.
videos, you could
Yeah.
have just said the statement that he's leaving, moved on as normal, and it never would have been a big deal. But
Yeah.
that's kind of the genesis then obviously it's like this whatever, a tiny stream of
Yeah.
issue of my editing out, and then Ned blows up the floodgates with his
Mhm.
Instagram post, where it's like, okay, well, that was the real problem. You shouldn't have done that, but
Yeah.
it started with the editing.
Okay. Then do you think like the consensual workplace relationship line, a lot of people are like saying like this was probably written by a lawyer to point out the fact that he wasn't taking advantage of an employee.
I don't think so. I think
maybe.
he would just want to like.
I think a lawyer would have told you to say nothing.
Yeah. I think he probably was like, well, I just want to like cover the ground
Right.
there.
I want to sound like I'm not a creepy boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fair. I think last one. Do you think this is more of like a not necessarily just the Try Guys, but we're going to use them as an example. If one of your friends is cheating on their partner, do you have any responsibility to then like tell the partner? Do you have any responsibility to call your friend out? Do you have any responsibility in the situation at all? And once it's come out and become public, whether or not you said anything, do you have any responsibility to like end the friendship or anything like that?
I think it depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Depends
I
on
wanna
like
know
how
more
well you know
complicated.
everyone in that situation.
Fair.
Yeah.
Let's say your friend, like really good friends, like you constantly have like friend group dinners with the couple, like because the Try Guys did. Like, yeah.
I think then you have a conversation with that friend like, hey, that's
Okay.
not okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if
go
you
to
want
the
to move
friend and
on,
not the
Yeah.
partner.
you want to end that. And like
Okay.
if it is that situation, you should also be like, hey, your whole brand is
Oh, sure. Think about your brand, dude.
Yeah. Because if like that's not working, I don't know.
Right.
Like I don't know. From this whole situation, it seems like no one really cares about like the cheating part and more about like the brand of like, isn't this funny? This is this whole
Yeah.
dude's thing. And it's like
Yeah.
Yes.
clearly like he didn't get that. Like
Mhm.
no one really gets like the personal side, I think. And it's
Okay,
like,
fair.
why didn't they like address like the brand? Like, hey, like this isn't good for the brand.
Yeah.
That's fair. Because yeah, like half of the people are like the guys could have known about this for like potentially like 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
and like have said nothing. But then like half the people, since they're like cutting him out of the company, are like, good for these guys, showing that it's important for men to not stand by like cheating people and saying like it's not okay to cheat. Like, kind of thing.
I mean, I think
I
the
don't know.
situation is so difficult because we as the public know nothing. Like,
Yeah.
you're assuming it all. Like, they might have known and they might have talked to him about this
Yeah, like a
beforehand,
lot.
and like you just have no idea because it's
Yeah.
personal life of people that you aren't familiar with,
Right.
and so you only know the public facing part.
Yeah.
So like, it's so difficult to make judgments on them, good or bad, because you'll never know the whole story.
I think that's fair. Yeah. I think that's my whole conversation around the Try Guys drama.
I was just thinking about a different drama scandal that I could do. And I
let me
think what
hear
my
it.
drama scandal should be is, instead of whatever I said before, it's I broke into someone's house and cooked their entire box of pasta for them.
Oh, crucify him. Cancel him. Oh my God.
Gone.
I'm gonna make one.
And then I'll make an official statement.
Cancellation. Okay.
I lost focus on, I don't know, food.
I lost focus on how
I
to
had
make
a
good box of
consensual
pasta.
relationship with
Someone else's pasta. Alrighty, what rained on y'all's parades, and what would you get canceled for, Ryan and me, since we already know Adam would? Pasta.
I just made
That's
plain
too
pasta
much.
like last week, and I was thinking about that again, about making a whole box of pasta.
It's so much pasta.
All right, I mean, I can go first for the rain on
Yeah,
parade.
let's hear it,
Sure.
because we got to think
'cause I have
about
an
our
easy one.
cancellations.
And I mean, I already told you guys about this, but I had a trial that I was going to be doing a substantial part of, or like half of, maybe a little less.
That's
than
substantial.
half. A good part of it.
Yeah.
That was scheduled for earlier this week, and it had already been moved once. Day of trial, like morning of, 1 hour before I was set to head over to the courthouse, because I had class, so I was going to be a little bit late. I got word that it was moved indefinitely.
Oh.
So all of the
Awful.
work that I had done in preparation for it over the weekend was gone, because I'm only doing this for the semester.
Yeah.
So it looks like it won't happen this year, the trial. So that's just time I spent for no reason.
It's so upsetting. Yeah.
And I was doing the opening statement. I thought my opening statement was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I had some good, like, dramatic, theatrical parts of it. I was excited to do it.
Yeah.
And then that was dashed. It was definitely wild because I didn't know what courtroom we were going to be in. So all throughout my class, I was checking my phone for to find out where I was going.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just get the text like
it was nowhere.
It was moved. I was like,
Yeah.
over a stupid reason, which makes it even worse.
Yeah, definitely. That's annoying. That's happened to you like a lot, because also the concert is just like last minute cancellations. Yeah.
Yes, it's fairly frequent.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Alrighty. I think what rained on my parade realistically was probably the whole vaccine doubling up thing. Just because I had like a little fever from it, which happens, and it's safe and it's normal. Still get vaccines. What would I get canceled for? I don't know. Do you guys have any ideas? I
was trying to think of it. For not making the whole box of pasta.
Well, that's just ridiculous. We can't. There's no way to win then.
My only other thought. This is really stupid.
That's okay.
But less so you getting canceled, but someone else getting canceled, because. Okay, here's my image.
Okay.
This other person was like going about their business, and then they're like la 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 la, and then they, like, kind of crush you because you're not that tall, and so they get canceled for not looking where they were going and seeing the short person in front of them.
Goes to jail for being too short. Yeah, okay.
Stupid. It's the only thing that came to mind. I was really racking. I was like, there must be something that Margaux could get canceled for.
I'm indecisive. That's a huge vice that I'm trying to work on.
Local
feel like
girl
sometimes
can't
it's
make
annoying.
decision.
Yeah, it's
Relatable.
yeah, like cancel her because she can't decide on what she should be canceled for. That makes it sound like I have a lot of cancelable things, but
Local girl has so many things to cancel her for. Internet
Just
can't decide
can't
which
choose.
one.
Yeah,
This sounds like a sketch, like from a sketch comic. Like, this person has done so much. What can we possibly cancel him
You guys
on?
watch The Good Place, right?
yes,
It's basically like cheating.
yeah.
Can't make decisions.
Honestly, though, I've never felt more represented in media for my indecisiveness. I'm not so bad that I would like be killed by an air conditioner falling on my head because I couldn't decide whether or not I should move. I'm just really bad at choosing. Like friends will be like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't whatever you want to do." But I do that a lot. So yeah. Or forcing decisions on other people because they're taller than me, which I think is a combo deal. I'm too short, so I can't choose.
It's good leadership.
Just mix them together.
Yeah.
Cancel me. That's our scandal. What about you, Ryan?
I don't know. I'm annoyed. So our like student center keeps closing earlier and earlier every year.
Dumb.
My freshman year it was open till 1 a.m.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
and now it is only open till 11. It's
That's
so
a travesty.
early. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
upsetting.
How would I get late night hot chocolates?
How do you eat your dinner?
Yeah, how would I eat my dinner? I'm eating dinner at like 10:45.
Yeah. The other thing is like I'm on a bad eating schedule, so I'll like eat when I wake up at like a normal time, and that's fine. But then like I have class that goes until 1, so I'll get lunch at like 1. But I usually get busy after class, so I don't end up eating until like 2.
Yeah.
And then like
That's how it gets you.
it comes like 5 or 6. I'm like I'm not really hungry. I just ate at 2, and so I end up eating at like 7 or 8.
And then it just keeps pushing back.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you are Margaux and have dinner at 11 p.m.
Sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
I had
As
some
someone who
classes
eats
that
at
went
5
until
every
9
single
p.m.
day. I mean, well, if you have class, you have class. But
Yeah.
there are definitely situations where you did not have class.
Yeah,
and
for
that was
sure.
just when you decided
The
to eat
class schedule got me on a all wacky, and it's not like I'd been doing that since high school.
it.
What are we canceling Ryan for? He eats mashed potatoes. That was my first thought.
Star Wars opinions.
Oh. What's your hottest Star Wars take that we can cancel you for?
I don't know. I really like The Last Jedi. A great movie. And
There
many
it
people
is.
do not.
It's good. I like it too.
Pretty good.
Ryan Johnson's a great director.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. I like it.
The Attack of the Clones movie is the best prequel movie.
Okay.
That's my hot take.
That is a hot take.
I didn't think it was a
Shaking
hot
my
take.
head. Yeah.
And then I was listening to Dungeons and Daddies, and they had a similar discussion.
Revenge of the Sith is objectively the best.
And they said that The Phantom Menace was the best one.
That's also
and
wrong.
I was like, I mean, also
They were
a
clearly
good one.
joking in that. I want to make
But-
that clear.
I mean, I know that Phantom Menace was good when I was a young child and saw it. But I did like Attack of the Clones the most. So,
Fair. Yeah. All right. Well, try guys, man.
Try
Yikes.
guys, more like try again.
Oh.
And that's been our show, everybody. Check us out on social media.
That was Sunny Wednesday.
Have a Sunday Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.